This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Monday, the 12th of June, 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Local government elections got off to an extremely slow start this morning, with voters trickling in at their polling stations across the country. However, many of the country's political leaders were among some of the early voters in line to cast their ballots in their communities. President Irfan Ali and his wife, First Lady Arya Ali, returned to their home village of Lenora and voted at the Lenora Technical Institute. The president described the voting process as smooth and straightforward, as he encouraged other electors to cast their ballots early. He also dismissed allegations that his People's Progressive Party was involved in vote buying for the elections. The president said his party is more focused on development in the various communities.
Our only plan for Georgetown and any other area in this country is to advance development, advance the welfare of people, improve the lives of people, improve communities, and importantly, to strengthen local leadership.
While looking to maintain its traditional strongholds, the People's Progressive Party has its eyes on municipalities that are traditionally controlled by the opposition, including the municipalities of Georgetown, New Amsterdam, Mahdia, and Linden. And according to the president, there is nothing to fear, as he renewed his government's commitment not to increase rates and taxes.
The PPP Civic is not about taking over community or increasing taxes. We have removed taxes since we came back into government. We are working in the interests of people for their development in their communities. That is it.
In the 2018 local government elections, the PPP Civic secured 7 of the 30 seats at the Horseshoe Table in Georgetown, with the APNU securing the majority. Over at the Plaisance Health Center this morning on the east coast of the Marara, the opposition and APNU leader Aubrey Norton said he remains confident of his party maintaining its dominance in a number of communities. He said his party's candidates were on the ground putting in the work in the lead up to the elections.
More than confident, we did the work. I believe politics is groundwork, not flags in the air, etc. And we did the required groundwork.
Mr. Norton, who also heads the People's National Congress Reform, said he's confident that the APNU will win the municipality of Georgetown, the biggest prize. While the APNU is contesting in most local government areas, the opposition leader said the focus was on the areas where the party needs to hold on to its base.
We concentrated in the areas we think we had to work hard and ensure we maintain. We also focus in some areas where we thought we can improve our position. For us, this is a trial run for the regional and general elections, but we thought we need to expend our resources strategically.
Municipal councils controlled by the opposition have always accused the PPP government of starving those councils of resources, thereby crippling their operations. The government has been denying those allegations. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Oh my lord. I just love to shop in this store. My customers, them gonna love all these things. So many different things in one place. Household items, electronics, toys, stationery, confectionery, exercise equipment, shoes and clothes for men, women and children, school things, costume, jewelry, perfume, makeup. Oh, look the makeup.
Giftland Office Max, Guyana's favorite department store.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors that me crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah. thirst buster. Grab a buster, bust the flavor, taste the savor. Buster, bust the flavor, flavors. Buster, bust the flavor, flavors.
Sorry.
Jack?
Hey.
Boys, where you going with all that speed?
Yo, today's the 15th. My NIS contributions are due, and I ain't even get the forms as yet.
Hold on. You mean to tell me that you're not aware that all self-employed persons can now make their NIS contributions using the MMG app from the comforts of their homes and offices?
Really? I just pay my bills using MMG,
Yes, Jack. And the thing's simple. All you have to do is open the app, select Pay Bills, Government Services, NIS, and Pay. They will prompt you to enter your NIS number, the month you're paying for, and the amount.
So I don't need to submit any form?
No. The only time you submit in a form is when you're making a claim.
Wait. I could make a claim too?
Oh, no, man. Jack. You didn't know that? Yes. All self-employed persons are entitled to all benefits from NIS. Well, except for the industrial benefits. And here's the good part. All of their forms, you can download them from the NIS website.
Well, girl, I'm really glad I bumped into you.
Anyhow, make sure you pay your bills later.
Later? I gotta sit down right here and pay my contributions first.
Take care.
For further information, please visit the website at www.nis.org.gy, the National Insurance Scheme Facebook page, or your nearest NIS office.
Strong and solid in countries far and wide. New India Assurance, we're standing by your side. Golden service, half a century and more. New India Assurance, our policies are secure. From the heart of India, we serve these islands. The strength that you can trust, you're safe when you come to us.
New India Assurance Company. Assurance when you need it most.
For your home, motor, or business insurance, visit New India Guyana office, 58 Brickdam next to Star Computers. Telephone 226-0415-7. Comfortable parking available.
As the polls closed at 6 o'clock this evening, Chief Elections Officer Vishnu Prasad told news source that a majority of results for the local government elections should be known by tonight. Under the electoral laws, the Guyana Elections Commission is required to deliver the results of the local elections within 5 days. However, Mr. Prasad anticipates the results will be in much earlier.
Most of those results will come in tonight because they're from the NECs and they're small numbers of polling stations. So most of the local authority area results should be available tonight. I think only Georgetown is likely to go into tomorrow.
The Chief Elections Officer said based on early reports of the day's activities, the electoral machinery worked well, with no major hiccups reported.
The machinery worked and poll has progressed smoothly.
Were there any complaints received and issues solved?
Well, we've had kinks, but nothing that interfere with the conduct of the poll.
While indicating that it was still too early to provide information on the overall voter turnout, the CEO assured that the information will be made available in the coming days. In 2018, when the last local government elections took place, the voter turnout was recorded at 36.3%. More than 570,000 people were on the voters list at that time. A number of minor issues were recorded as polls opened this morning for the local government elections. For the large part, voters said the process was smooth and hassle-free, owing to the low number of voters that were showing up at polling places early. Vice President and General Secretary of the PPP, Bara Jagdeo, who voted at the St. Paul's Primary School in Plaisance, said the minor issues were raised.
One issue has been about the information clerks. Many of them are saying to people, you have to come to me first before you go into the polling place. If people know where they're voting because they've already checked and that they're on the list, then they don't necessarily have to go to every information clerk. So in some polling places, that was becoming an issue because a bottleneck They have a long line before with the information clerk. And like even here, I see something happening again. People can come straight to the polling place. They're not required to go to the information clerk, only if they need assistance.
There were also reports of instances where voters turned up at polling stations only to be told that their names were not listed there, and as such had to be redirected to other polling places.
We've had one instance where a person was told, you're not voting here, you're voting at another place, another location. And then when we checked, their name was on the list at that particular location. So that we brought it to the attention of the officials, some of the presiding officers, the ROs, and it was resolved at the places where those problems occurred.
That was the case of outgoing City Mayor Ubraj Narain, who turned up at the St. John's Ambulance Brigade in Cowan Street, Georgetown to vote, only to discover that his name was not listed there to vote.
Well, I checked this thing online and it tell me here, I live right over there. So I can't understand, so I have to go to St. John's County to check if my name is there now.
In the town of Linden, APNU candidate Sharma Solomon said there were some initial hiccups at some polling stations.
We are encountering a few issues such as persons not finding their names on the list, and in fact persons have been told to check at other locations. So we're trying to ensure those matters are dealt with as we speak.
The political parties say they are paying keen attention to the elections, although they expect voter turnout for the local elections to be low. More tragic news for the Guyana Defense Force. A row between two soldiers escalated earlier this morning when one of them armed himself with a service weapon and shot his colleague dead. The dead soldier has been identified as Private Tevon Damon. His assailant has been identified as Private Brian Morrison. The incident took place at a GDF base camp Stevenson at Temeri just after 4 o'clock this morning. According to senior military officials, initial reports indicated that there was a disagreement between the two soldiers that led to a confrontation and a fight early this morning. During that fight, Private Damon reportedly lashed his fellow rank, Brian Morrison, to the head with a piece of wood. As he ran from the confrontation, Morrison armed himself with a high-powered weapon and opened fire, hitting Damon multiple times to his body. More than 25 shots were fired from the weapon, sending other soldiers at the base running for cover. The injured officer collapsed on the ground and was eventually taken to the Diamond Hospital, where he was pronounced dead moments later. His assailant has since been arrested and remains in police custody tonight. The Guyana Defense Force has launched a board of inquiry into the deadly shooting incident at the military base, while the police is conducting their own investigations. News source understands that a feud was brewing between the two men for days, and despite that being known to their superiors, the men were still placed to work with each other on the same shift. The investigations are ongoing tonight. Police investigators here in Georgetown are probing the death of Nakima Dimitri Dionat, whose lifeless body was found this morning in his apartment at the corner of Regent and Cummings Streets. The investigators believe he was murdered. The dead man was the son of the owners of the popular Nisha's Flowerland store. His father, Raj Dionat, was led away from the scene by investigators in handcuffs, although they would not say why he was being treated as a suspect. It was the father who alerted persons in the area and family members to his son's death. A security guard in the area said the father was seen going in and out of the building multiple times this morning. The son was last seen alive on Sunday. The son lived on the top floor of the 3-story building, which housed an electronics store on the bottom floor and a storage facility on the 2nd floor. Police sources said the dead man's body was found with multiple marks of violence, including marks around his neck. The investigators believe he might have been strangled to death. An uncle of the dead man said he last saw his nephew on Saturday afternoon when he assisted in closing up one of the family's stores.
I saw him on Saturday. He came to the store. He come every afternoon and lock up and stuff. And I do sometimes bring him home and stuff in the afternoon. On Saturday I didn't see him till after lunch. So I asked his father, said I didn't see him, you come. And then a little after he come about 1 o'clock. So I said, what happened, bro? You text late. I said, man, And he download a flash drive for me, we supposed to do for me. And he quiet all the time and close at 3:30 and he father take him home. This is the last time I saw him.
Other relatives were also at the scene this morning but opted not to speak to the media. A full investigation is underway tonight.
So going on, champ? I passed here last week and this shop lock up tight.
Why? We come down with the flow, so we have to take a couple of days.
I can't deal with them kind of setbacks, Bano. I just get a headache when you see I can't make me little bread.
I know them ways, champ. But thank God for NIS.
NIS? What you got to do now with NIS?
I mean, what I got to do with NIS? I register as self-employed and I make monthly contributions to NIS. So you see, for them days I lose, NIS pay me back for most of them days.
What? That's good. You know, I always used to believe that it's only people in big offices and so they pay NIS.
Nah, man. NIS for any working person between the ages of 16 to 60. And as self-employed, you get all the benefit as an employee except for industrial benefits.
So what I gotta do for set up this thing?
All I gotta do is visit NIS on Breakdown, or if you're living out of town, you visit any NIS closest to your location. And once you register and your registration complete, you can start making NIS contributions.
Alright, so what I gotta walk with and like how much money I gotta pay a month?
I ain't gotta walk with no big money. All I gotta walk with is your birth certificate and any farm ID. And when you reach down there, ask for the compliance department.
Good. Thanks for the information, bro. As soon as I left here, I went straight to the NIS office.
For further information, please visit the website at www.nis.org.gy, the National Insurance Scheme Facebook page, or your nearest NIS office.
A 28-year-old miner from Bartica in Region 7 was found dead on Sunday afternoon in the quartz zone back down Cuyuna River. Police have identified the dead miner as O'Neill Richardson. According to a statement, the self-employed miner worked in the area and would operate a metal detector as part of his search for gold. On Sunday, a cousin and another relative went looking for him and found his detector partially buried underneath the soil. The men started to dig the same area and found the motionless body of the young miner covered by the soil. The body was pulled out, but he was already dead. Police investigators were contacted and visited the scene. It is suspected that the miner might have found himself in the area of an old mining site and the soil went loose, burying him in an old pit. The investigations are ongoing. After being on the run for almost 2 years, wanted man John Kennedy has been caught. Kennedy, also known as Big John, was arrested in New Amsterdam on Sunday. He was wanted for the murder of Jalil Liao, which occurred in Sophia on the 2nd of August 2021. The Sophia youth was gunned down while in the company of friends in the Sophia community. His assailant was identified as John Kennedy. In a statement on Sunday, the Guyana Police Force explained that Kennedy was arrested in the vicinity of Main and Church Streets in New Amsterdam, Berbice on Sunday morning. The investigators found a 9mm pistol with no serial number along with 15 9mm live rounds of ammunition in his possession. He is expected to face murder charges as well as possession of an unlicensed weapon charges later this week. The Guyana Police Force has issued wanted bulletins for 2 men for the murder of GDF Lieutenant Coast Guard Ronald Douglas. Douglas was shot dead last Wednesday night in North Rheinfeldt as he worked as a late-night taxi driver. The 2 men who are wanted for his shooting death have been identified as Jamie Ghani of Turkine East Coast and Marara, and Harold, also known as Stewie of Liliendal. Harold's last name was not provided by the police. Police investigators are asking anyone with information on the whereabouts of the two suspects to make urgent contact with the police by calling 911 or contact the nearest police station. According to the police reports of the shooting death, the Coast Guard officer, while working his private car as a taxi on the Western Marara, was called out to carry out the job of transporting a customer to North Ruimveldt. When the officer arrived at a cul-de-sac in North Ruimveldt, another man approached the car and together with the passenger, they held the officer at gunpoint, forcing him out of the car. When the officer attempted to put up a fight, he was shot 3 times and fell to the ground as the bandits made off with his car. Lieutenant Coast Guard Douglas was left to die on the street. His stolen car has since been recovered. Family members are demanding justice in the case. President Erfanali has announced that Guyana will continue to work with the government of the United Arab Emirates to build a stronger partnership for the people of both countries. He made the comments on Sunday while hosting an official visit to Guyana by the Minister of International Cooperation of the United Arab Emirates, Reem Al-Hashimi, and the delegation. During that visit, government officials from Guyana and the UAE held discussions on a number of issues related to trade and partnerships in various sectors. President Ali said the Guyana government is looking forward to strengthening a long-lasting friendship and sustainable relationship between the two governments. As part of the visit, the UAE government minister turned the sought for a facility to cater for children living with disabilities. The facility will be built in Region 3, and the government of the UAE has donated $500,000 towards the cost for the project.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor of the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water. Now available for only $120.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall. In the region, China today said that allegations that it was using Cuba as a spying base are false, and it denounced the U.S. government and media for releasing what it called inconsistent information. According to Reuters, a Biden administration official said on Saturday China had been spying from Cuba for some time, and it had upgraded its intelligence collection facilities there in 2019. Last week, the Wall Street Journal reported that a new spying effort effort was underway on the island, citing U.S. officials. But Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin said the alleged spy activities of China in Cuba is another piece of false information. The allegation about Cuba comes as U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken prepares to visit China this week. The top U.S. official scrapped a planned trip to Beijing in February after a suspected Chinese spy balloon flew over the United States. Wang also said he had no information on Blinken's visit, which would be the first to China by U.S. Secretary of State in 5 years. Haitian Prime Minister Ariel Henry says he's attending crisis talks in Jamaica to listen and help determine how the country can rebuild from the latest rungs of political and economic turmoil. Speaking at Liberty Hall in downtown Kingston Sunday, Prime Minister Henry said he was not in Jamaica to negotiate, but rather to listen. Mr. Henry noted that agreements have struck in the past and acknowledged that critics may also point to previous consultations involving political and civil society stakeholders. The 3-day consultation involves representatives from the various groups in the French-speaking CARICOM country of more than 12 million people. It is being facilitated by CARICOM's Eminent Persons Group, Bruce Golding, Jamaica, Perry Christie, Bahamas, and Dr. Kenny Anthony, St. Lucia, all former prime ministers. Speaking on behalf of the group, Golding said he hopes the Haitian representatives will see Jamaica as a comfortable space in which to wrestle with the challenges confronting their society. And finally tonight, international news. Former U.S. President Donald Trump arrived in Miami on Monday to face federal criminal charges, while a new Reuters poll found a vast majority of his fellow Republicans believe the case to be politically motivated. Trump, the front-runner for the Republican nomination in the 2024 presidential election, is scheduled to be in Miami Federal Courthouse on Tuesday for an initial appearance in the case. Accused of unlawfully keeping the U.S. national security documents and lying to officials who tried to recover them, Trump has proclaimed his innocence and vowed to continue his campaign to regain the presidency in a November 2024 election. Trump, who turns 77 on Wednesday, touched down in Miami in a private jet. Supporters gathered outside a nearby golf club he owns, where he was due to stay the night. Trump's legal woes have not affected his popularity among Republican voters. A Reuters poll released on Monday found that 81% of Republicans thought the charges were politically motivated. The poll also found Trump continues to lead his rivals for the party's presidential nomination by a wide margin. Some 43% of self-identified Republicans said Trump was their preferred candidate, compared to 22% who picked Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, Trump's closest rival. In early May, Trump led DeSantis 49% to 19%, but that was before DeSantis formally entered the race.
And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.